What is going on, YouTube? Good morning, and once again we are doing a video featuring RGT 85. And recently he has been doing some stuff that a lot of people are gonna say is crazy. He finally decided that he was done with his retro video game collection and he is selling it off. In fact, he has already got a buyer. He's already got stuff put off in totes, and yeah, and of course, what's kind of actually cool is he is selling all of his stuff off to Phoenix Resale, which is one of the YouTubers that I like to watch on here, along with a lot of those other guys. And in this video, we're just gonna kind of watch his recent video, reacting a little bit to it. I've watched some of it, but I wanted to kind of just watch a little bit more with you guys and kind of go over why I think that, you know, there are some good points to this. So, pulling it up right now. There is the man himself, and let's just get into it. Let me get my headphones on.
It's almost over, and
Yep.
you know, that's kind of weird for me to say because obviously this is something that has been a part of me for 20 plus years, but my days of collecting video games actively are almost over. I have indeed sold the collection. I talked about it in a previous video, but you could see here.
Yeah, you can see there in the back now, his shelves in the past video were completely full of games and everything like that. You can see Saturn games down here and Dreamcast ones and stuff like that, and we'll keep going.
Here, the shelves are starting to look barren. There's totes of stuff that's happening here. I haven't finished it yet, but yes, I did sell the collection, and so I kind of want to talk about what's going on with all of that, some of the feedback that I've seen on it, and then, of course, talk a little bit about what is replacing my game collection. So in case you missed the other updates, I just decided to sell my games, man. Like, I just felt like it was time to move on. I felt like it was time to just get rid of it, you know, get rid of all this stuff, make a nice wad of money, and then, you know, experience the games, because it never was really about, you know, the shelf collecting for me. Like, it was cool, I enjoyed it, but it's more about the games and being able to play the games. And honestly, having all of these physical goods, having all of these systems, and not having them set up and it being kind of a pain in the ass to play these games.
So I went through a revelation like this about a year or so ago, and then it was about 2 years ago when a YouTube channel called Retro Ghetto put out a video that goes, are you a collector or are you a gamer? And growing up, I was a gamer. It was just playing games just to play the games, and then as I got older now, when I grew up, we didn't have very much money, so you didn't get games very often. So once I started getting a good job going, and I had a lot of what do I want to say, disposable income, I just started investing in all these games that I wish I had as a kid, consoles that I never had growing up, like a Super Nintendo and stuff like that, and just blowing it up, you know, like he was going to say, like he said, wads of money on a bunch of stuff. And then it ended up turning into just having all these games and really not even playing them, because, you know, having two jobs, 3 kids, and all this stuff that goes on with that, you don't really get much time to play the video games. So yeah, I can agree with him on that one point. I had a revelation about a year or so ago where I actually sold off a large part of my collection and just took the money and bought stuff that I wanted with it. You know, whether it be to invest in an actual good microphone for the YouTube channel, or just some other stuff. Like I always wanted like a Game Boy Advanced, and I modded it so something I wanted, and yeah, we went with that. So let's keep going with this video.
I have now is much easier to play the games, which at the end of the day is really what matters. At least that's what matters to me. I understand that people out there enjoy collecting and they enjoy game hunting still, and that's great. Just for me personally, I've moved on. The passion, the thrill is gone, as the song used to say. So I ended up striking a deal with Phoenix Resale. He will be coming to my house on April 11th, so about 2 weeks from now or so. And, you know, some people were like, well, why did you sell it to him? Why didn't you sell it to a store, this, that, the other? And first and foremost, you know, this is what Phoenix Resale does. If you look at his title of his YouTube channel, it clearly says resale, meaning that he is essentially the modern gaming store when you really think about it, because, you know, brick and mortar stores, no matter what they are, they're starting to slowly dwindle away. And what he does and what many other people do is they buy up these lots, they buy up these collections, they go to conventions and sell the stuff. You know, you don't have a building overhead, you don't have employee overhead with stuff like that. So more of the profits come back to you. You sell them on eBay, you sell them to other people, whatever the case may be. So I think it's kind of the modern retro video game store. That's the thing. You have to constantly adapt when you're in the business sphere, especially with something like that. So he is coming in on April 11th. He is flying in. He's renting a U-Haul truck. We're gonna load that sumbitch up, and then he's gonna head on. So I am keeping, like, as you can see here, all of this is pretty much done. There's some Saturn and Dreamcast stuff that I still need to do here. The stuff that you see on this little stinky shelf, that's like my PlayStation and Xbox stuff that I'm actually keeping for like the modern systems. So that's going to get transferred over to this shelf. The little stinky shelf is going to completely go away.
Little stinky shelf. So we'll get away from the video now. I will leave a link to the description, link to his video in the description below, so you guys can go check out this video too, so you can see what he goes on to say. But he basically talks about wanting to sell. He sells everything off, and I think he has actually been investing in something he calls a mini PC, and he goes on to show off all of his different controllers that he has for this thing. So all in all, is what really comes down to in this is he's selling it off because he wants to clear up space, he wants to get a wad of money, he wants to invest in something he can actually play the video games on. And you know, I toss and turn sometimes about this too, because I agree with this. And you know, I'm keeping a lot of stuff behind me. You know, I have a lot of games back there that you can't see. You can see some N64 ones over here, and you can see that the collection isn't very big. I mean, I have, granted, if you guys watch my game room tours, I got many games over off to the side over there. I've got almost every one of the base consoles for the stuff, but they are just on display. They aren't even really hooked up, and they haven't been hooked up in a while, because I invested in a RetroPie about 2 years ago, and I had a couple guys help me set it up, and I have, you know, over 2,000-3,000 games on it. I use it for streaming, I use it for capturing gameplay, I use it for playing retro games, because it, like he said, it's just less of a hassle to try and hook it up to a system, especially in the modern era with all these flat screens and stuff like that, and just the room of it. Because like I said, I'm looking at about, you know, 12 consoles right now over there, and that's not even all of them. I have stuff off to the side. I have display copies of custom modded consoles, and then all in all, the only thing I really have hooked up right now besides this RetroPie is my PS5. And even nowadays with PlayStation Member Plus and stuff like that, I can play some of the old PlayStation games on there, so I don't even need to hook up my PS2 or PS1 anymore, because I can get most of those games on there. And nowadays too, with like Steam and everything, if I really want a certain game, they usually have sales going on, so I could digitally buy the game and play it on my PC if I really want to do it that way, which I really don't do as much, because you know, granted, I do like having a physical copy of games, but it is kind of oh, sorry, just woke up. It is kind of just easier to get a digital version of the game, because then I don't have to worry about fumbling with finding the game, like he said, hooking up a console and everything. So I can totally agree with this. And then what's really cool is, like he was saying, he's selling it to Phoenix Resale, which I love his YouTube channel. He's got a very good one, and he seems like an overall really awesome guy. And you know, and all in all too, is if he would have took this to like a GameStop, or if he would have took this to another gaming store, they would, you know, did like DK Oldies or something, they would have ripped him off, and you know, they would have probably gave him half of what it's worth and stuff like that. And at least with like the Phoenix Resale, he yeah, like he said, he's got no overhead, he doesn't have a bunch of employees, he doesn't have other stuff like that. So you know, another good option would have been like somebody like Chase After the Right Price. They are able to give you a little bit more money for it, because they don't have all those extra costs. And it's really cool that he is willing to fly down there, get a U-Haul, pick all this stuff up from him, and then take it back too. So it's really no struggle for RGT 85 right here, because he's just like, yeah, come get it, and then you can sell it the way you want to sell it. So that's really awesome. And some people, will look at this and think that, man, you are crazy. I can't believe you're doing this. Why would you get rid of all those games? And I like I said, I went through a revelation like this too, where the hunting, the passion, the collecting and stuff was gone for a while. I mean, I recently gotten back to hunting games a little bit more, but I'm not going as insane as I was at one point, where I was searching on Mercari, I was searching on eBay, I was searching all these places all the time, just trying to find games. And now it's just coming down to wanting to enjoy playing the games and, what they're originally intended for. And I am planning on doing another purge here coming up, because I have an original Xbox collection that's pretty big that I don't even touch. My PlayStation collection I like because it's not insanely big, and it's just games that I want to play. So I like that. So I'll probably keep that the same. But like my Sega collection is small, and my Nintendo 64 collection is small, and it's all games that I like. And like he was pointing out here, some of the modern games that he was wanting to keep, he's going to put off to the side. And the nice thing about this also too is he's going to be getting rid of, stuff that's taking up space. Because obviously in the background of this, if we pull this up just quick, I'm not going to start it up again, but he has. But he has a good collection. He like Ghostbuster stuff back here. He's a big wrestling fan, Batman stuff. So this will allow him to go on to being able to collect for other stuff that maybe he's more into now than he is with video games. And that's what I was into too. With at one point I sold a bunch of my stuff so I could get stuff for, like, besides collecting video games and stuff, I'm really into weightlifting and stuff like that. So I was able to get stuff for weightlifting that I needed, that I wanted, like a new pair of lifting shoes, gym clothes, stuff like that. And so that really helps you out then, because like you said, if you're not going to play it and it's just sitting around, what's the point of having it? Yes, it looks cool on the shelf and stuff like that, but if you can get something you really want instead, then why not? Kind of like with these arcade 1-ups. I don't play them as much as I should, and I have thrown back the idea before just selling them to get something I wanted. Like, I was, for a while there, I was thinking about wanting to get like a Turbo Graphics system because I never had one, and I thought it'd be cool to have, but then I'd run into the same issue as I was just talking about. I'd probably get it, play it once, and then never touch it again, and then I just have an expensive console gaining dust, corroding away, and just not worth it, guys. It's kind of, like I said, it's cool to have, but if you're not going to play it, then what's the point of having video games sometimes? I know people like to collect stuff, and I do, and I like collecting it, and I like having it on the shelf, and I like to come down here and just look at it all, and it's nice to have. But he has very good points in this video, and I agree with him for the most part on all this stuff too. So it'll be really cool in the future to see what he does with the wad of cash that he gets. And yeah, this is like I said, this is one of the videos I like that he did. Some of these videos he does I don't agree with, and that's fine. That's how YouTube is. Everybody, it's called YouTube, so it's your opinions and stuff like that. So I don't always agree with it, but this one is very, like I said, I've dealt with this in the past. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. Have you done this in the past where you've recently decided that, hey, the fun of it's gone, the passion's gone, so I just decided to get rid of everything and then use the money for other stuff? And I know there's people in the past have been doing some of this stuff too, and I know it's just for content for YouTube. And that's originally what I thought with this, because I remember at one time seeing him invest a bunch in like arcade 1-ups, and then had a nice arcade of it, and now I don't see that anymore. So it's like, did he just do that for content for YouTube and then sold them all? But he might have just ran into this issue too, where he got them, thought they were cool, kind of like I did, started actually playing them, and like, these kind of suck, and then he ended up selling them. But there's a couple of YouTube channels that I've watched that I kind of didn't, I knew that they were just doing this for content and not doing it because they liked it. But I don't believe that with him I don't believe that right now with him on this video, that he's just doing this to make content to get people to watch the videos. It would be a sick April Fool's joke if he just, here in about a couple days or so, just went, I'm just kidding, and put everything back up, but I don't think he is. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this, and have you done this in the past, and has it been with video games or anything else that you collected, like, you know, sports cards, anything like that. So I hope you guys all are having a great Monday and rest of your week when you watch this video, and just, you know, as always, stay retro, my friends, and we will see you in the next video.